Welcome back to the channel. My name is Steven. I'm a pharmacist and I own 52 units of real estate. So my property manager brought me an 80 unit apartment complex that I'm going to show you how I underwrite as well as how I make two offers, a traditional financing offer of a conventional bank and a creative financing offer. So every time I offer, I always do two offers to give the seller options, and I want to show the price difference and how much higher a creative finance offer is compared to a conventional um, bank offer. So let me show you how I underwrite these deals. So let's do 80 units. Sorry, it's been a while since I used my keyboard. So when you first get a deal, what you want to do is you want a T12. So you want a T12 and you want a rent roll. So I'm going to call RR. And then from this T12, you're going to get the gross um, rents on an annual basis, and you want to divide that by 12, right? So for simplicity, I looked at the P&L and the gross rent is 60K. So that's rent, and that's monthly. So I'm just doing all this on a monthly basis for this example. So I have my $60,000 gross rents. Now let's do the expenses. So the expense is about 55%. So that's going to be 33,000. So remember, and this is your expense. Remember, when you underwrite, you always want to assume at least 50% expense ratio, but on this one, the P&L showed a 55%, so I'm using the 55%. And then once you subtract these two numbers, it's going to be 27K, and this is your NOI. Remember, your NOI stands for your net operating income, which is your income minus your expense. So on a monthly basis, this property, before your debt service, is going to have an NOI of $27,000. So from here, I'm going to calculate my debt service coverage ratio has to be greater than 1.25. So I'm going to have my DSCSR, debt service coverage ratio, is greater than 1.25. So remember, this is what the metric lenders look at. And what this basically means is that the NOI, which is 27,000, must be at least 25% higher than the monthly debt service payment, right? So to calculate this, so my debt payment, that the max debt payment I can afford is I'm gonna take my NOI, which is 27K, and I'm gonna divide that by 1.25. And that's gonna come out to be about, let's just call it, $22,000 a month. So the highest, based on my NOI of 27,000, the highest debt payment I can do is $22,000 to maintain my debt service coverage ratio at 1.25. So now I have this number, right? And this number is key. And I'm going to take this number, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to Google a mortgage calculator, and you're going to use these loan assumptions, right? So your loan assumptions, so your loan, you're going to do 25% down. This is going to be amortized over 20 years, so 20-year am. And why 20 years is because this is a C-class apartment. So this is C-class, which means that it's old, right? And my interest rate is going to be 8%. So I would input this information into my mortgage calculator, and now I'm just to start guessing like offer prices, right? So you just can, once you pull up the calculator, it's easy. So, I already kind of did the pre-math, but, basically I know it's going to be at 3.4 million. Sorry for my writing. So 3.4 million, and I'm gonna have to put 25% down, which is 850K. And let's see. And then from here, this gives me a monthly debt service of about $21,300, right? So you just punch in the math, right? So your offer price with 3.4, it's going to ask you for your down payment, 25%. So this is 850K. Whatever's remaining, that's going to be amortized over 20 years at 8% interest rate. And this comes out to be a monthly debt service of about $21,000. So that suffices my DSCSR of greater than 1.25. So I know a lender will be okay if I offer $3.4 million, right? So, if I offer $3.4 million, it would suffice this DSCR of 1.25 based on this current NOI. So, the lender would be happy with this offer. But the problem is the seller wants like close to 5 million, right? So this is 1.4, $1.6 million less than what he wants. So now, for the sake of this example, let's just continue, calculating your cash flow. So obviously, if you're, let's say it's 21,000, or let's just make it 22, and then minus, so your cash flow is going to be your NOI, which is 27K, and you're going to minus your debt service of, let's just call it 22K. So that's 5K a month is your cash flow, which is 60K a year. So now if you want to calculate your cash on cash return, so I'm going to do COC for cash on cash. It's going to be 60,000. And then how much was my down payment? It was 850K. And that comes out to be about 7% cash on cash return. It's okay, right? It's not the greatest, but it's decent, right? Assuming I offer 3.4 million. And if you want to figure out what type of cap rate this is offered at, so I want to get my cap. So it's going to be your annual NOI, divided by your purchase price. So my annual NOI, it's going to be roughly, so it's at 22K. That's a month times 12 months. And I'm going to divide that by 3.4 million, which is going to equal, that's about a 7.6 cap on this property. So this is how I kind of do the numbers, right? So I took my NOI divided by my offer price of 3.4 million. This is a 7.6 cap. So, as you can see, as interest rates go up, typically your cap rates will go up as well. So my first offer with conventional financing is 3.4 million, which is $1.6 million less than what he wants. So now let's scroll down a bit, get a fresh page. Now I want to do my creative financing offer. So for my creative financing offer, so I'll do creative. So here, I have a rule of thumb, which I want 10% down, typically, 5% interest only, and at least a 5-year term. And that's kind of my starting point, but obviously this varies based on seller motivation. You're flexible on the interest rate as well as term. Obviously you want a longer term if possible. So here, let's just assume an offer of 4 million. So 4 million. So from this, I'm going to put 400K down. And what I love to do is you can spread out this 400K. You can spread this out where you can do like 200K escrow, and then remaining 200K, over whatever, 4 years. And what's nice about this is it lowers the capital gains tax if you go that strategy, right? And then my loan, so this is assuming it's completely paid off. So my loan is going to be 3.6 million. That the seller is seller financing because the property's owned free and clear. So now let's calculate my monthly interest payment. So my interest, so it's going to equal, so you're going to take your 3.6 million. I'm going to times that by 0.5. Then I'm going to divide all that. That's going to be, so on an annual basis, it's going to be about 180K of interest payments. And I'm going to divide that by 12. And that's going to be 15K, 15,000 a month. So now I would pay the owner $15,000 a month, right? On this property. So now that I have my payment, so remember my rent, my gross rent equals 60K. My expense equals 33K. Then my NOI is 27K. And now if I have a $15,000 payment, my cash flow, so now I'm going to take my cash flow equal 27K minus 15K, 12K a month in cash flow. And on this one, let's calculate my cash and cash return. So cash, so that's going to be, so I'm going to take 12K times 12, and then divide it by 400K, which is how much I put in. And that comes out to be a 36% cash and cash return. So why is creative financing better? So number one, I'm offering him 4 million versus 3.4. That's $600,000 more. Number two is that because I can do a low down payment right here, which is less. Remember the other deal, I was putting $850,000 down, so that down payment's half. And what I can do is I can spread out. I can do 200K at the close of escrow and 200K spread over 4 years. Why would I do that? It's to lower capital gains tax, right? For the seller, capital gains. And then by seller financing it, it lowers capital gains tax as well. And on top of that, he's still getting monthly income of $15,000 a month. That's pretty solid, right? And I'm cash flowing $12,000 a month versus on the conventional financing, it's only cash flowing about $5,000 a month. So my cash flow doubled, and my cash on cash return is 36% versus 7% on the other property. So this is a win-win situation, right? Like I get a lower down payment, I can offer a higher offer price. The seller gets monthly payments of $15,000 a month. He can defer capital gains tax. He only pays capital gains tax on the down payment I put in, as well as he can defer. He just pays capital gains tax on the interest that I give him, and I get better cash flow and cash and cash return, right? And what's crazy is this is where it gets super powerful. I could borrow, I could private money lend this $400,000. So let's say I have a private money lender, and I'm borrowing 400K at 10%. So that would be on an annual basis. That's 40K a year. And then divide that by 12. That's roughly a little bit, maybe like 3,200 a month. So I can literally get a private money lender, just pay them 10% interest on their money, and that would cost me about 3,000 bucks a month. I'm cash flowing 2,000 bucks a month. So I could pay for the private money lender and still cash flow $9,000 a month on this deal, right? So if I wanted to raise another 400 for renovation, it can afford it, right? So my payment would be roughly, let's just call it 7,000. So if I have $7,000 to pay a private money lender between the down payment and the renovation, I'm still going to cash flow 5,000 bucks a month. And let's just call that a wash because it's just to be for your reserve, right? So this is the power of doing creative financing on this deal. So, for me, I would present both offers, right? So I'll just say, hey, if you want me to use a bank, my offer is 3.4, and I'll explain why. If you want creative financing and you seller carry it, I'll give you 4 million. So this 8 unit owner already got an offer, which I'm assuming is between 3.4 to $4 million, because they said that if it falls through, they'll consider my $4 million creative offer. So I'll keep you guys posted on this deal, but that's what I'm really excited about on this deal. So, hopefully I know that this was a lot of math, but I just wanted to show my mindset on how I make offers. It's always two offers. And I always teach my students this, like you want to make a traditional financing offer. And it sucks now because interest rates are high, 8%, as well as the DSCR. And then most older apartments are amortized over 20 years because they're older. This is a 1970s property. So most banks will give you a 20-year amortized or 25 at best. So as a result, your offers will be lower. So I just say, hey, if you do creative financing, I can offer you a better offer of 4 million and you still get $15,000 a month, right? And I'm going to renovate the property and I'm going to use your property manager to manage this. So like there's trust here. So, hopefully the deal falls through. And if so, then they're going to pitch my creative financing offer. So I was surprised the broker was open to that, but yeah, that's how I underwrite my apartments. So hopefully you can learn from me underwriting 80 unit. If you want to join my multifamily mentorship program, check out the link down below. Otherwise, let me know what questions you have and let me know if you like these whiteboarding sessions. It takes a little bit more work for me, but if it gives you guys value, I'm happy to do it. Anyways, hope to see you in the next one, and please like, comment, subscribe, and thank you so much.